guys ready? Ready? I'm going to do belong and then you guys can play. Good morning. Thanks for this lovely music, huh? It's so wonderful to see all of you here this morning, newcomers, longtime members, and those watching online.
I'm Sue Ronke, and I'm delighted to be your celebration associate this morning. May we gather today to nurture our connections, seek inspiration, and embrace change. Joy is our theme for April. The road can feel long and the end unwritten, but joy is the spark of energy that keeps us going. What brings you joy? Who brings you joy? And how can we share our own spark of joy with others? I find joy in my spring flowers blooming, especially on my spring birthday weekend, and it's a big one. We have many activities this week. Please read the announcements in your order service or check the sanctuary screens. To learn more, we do have one special announcement from Margaret Nichols representing the stewardship team.
Good morning, everyone. Let's see. Helps to have the paper right side up. I've learned this through long experience. So, all right. I have news from the stewardship team, namely that our pledge campaign continues. Yay! If you've pledged already, thank you very much, and hooray, good for you. If you haven't yet, I have some things to consider. If you think about the benefits we get from coming here, we have the inspiring services every week, a dedicated staff who do first-rate work all the time, and they're just like angels to me. We have a great religious education program. We have first-rate music. We have pastoral care. Yes. Yes. We get pastoral care from the ministers and the care team. We have the opportunity to be in small group ministry groups. If you haven't tried that, I recommend it. It's really great. And we have a sustaining community to support us in these troubled times, which is really wonderful. So we can keep all these things going, but only if we all contribute. 3/4 of the church's budget comes from our pledges. To continue with our current activities, we've got to hit our goal for the year. Yay. It's up there at the top of the balloons ascent, and as you can see, we have a ways to go. But if we all pitch in, we can get there. So it is literally up to us, you and me. So I give because since I started coming here in 1994, this church has been an important sustaining influence in my life. In 2006, after I had surgery for breast cancer, different people from this congregation brought me dinner every night for the next several weeks. I was just floored. People I didn't even know sent me cards expressing their support. To me, it was a miracle. I have never felt so cared for. And I want to make sure that many other people get to experience the love and the warmth and the sustaining influence that I felt, not only now, but on into future generations. So that's why I give. If you can, I hope you'll give too. And we're trying to wrap things up as soon as we can so that we'll know how much income we'll have for next year. So if you can make your pledge this week, that would be great. The easiest way to do that is right after the service in the parlor. there's a table that has a little replica of the church on it. So if you go to that table, we have pledge cards there. You can fill out a card and be done with it and go on to a happy, rewarding life. So, alternatively, if you'd rather not do that, you can go to the website, and it's got information with all different possibilities for how you can pledge. So, generosity is a virtue. So go team. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. If you're new or visiting for the first time, I was trying to find one here, but I'm not finding one. There's a yellow card in your pew. If you would like to fill that out, you can either put it in the offertory or you can bring it to the welcome table out after the service, to the welcome table. We usually have snacks, coffee, and conversation after the service that you're welcome to join. And in the spirit of intentionally gathering in community, please take a moment and switch your cell phones to silent mode. Before we light our chalice, let's all take a moment to greet those around us. Today's chalice will be lit by Tom Wright. Please join me in saying the chalice writing words, which could be up there or in your bulletin. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. Yeah, it doesn't work, so I got it. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work?
No, the wick is too small.
It's okay.
I breathe in the warmth of this light, its glow filling the spaces where fear and doubt reside. I breathe out the tension I carry. I release what no longer serves me. I breathe in the strength of our community, a sanctuary of diverse voices and shared purpose. I breathe out the urge to go it alone. I embrace the power of togetherness. I breathe in the courage to speak truth, even when it trembles on my lips. I breathe out the silence that holds me back. I make space for honesty and justice. I breathe in the hope of transformation, knowing we are here to build and to heal. I breathe out despair, trusting that change is born in small acts of love. As the flame of our chalice illuminates this space, may each breath remind us of the sacred rhythm of life, the pulse of creation, and the power we hold to shape the world around us. We have some friends here that Madeline asked about carrying around our baskets for our Side with Love collection this morning. And if that was you, come on up and grab a basket. And I invite everyone to rise, embody your spirit, and join me in hymn number 29. You can find the words on the screen behind me or in your gray hymnal. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee. Good morning, friends. This is the time when I invite anyone to come forward who is young or feeling young at heart for our time for wonder. You come on up and have a seat on the steps.
My birth date says otherwise.
Sometimes people feel the opposite. All right, who has not had a chance to open up our Wonder Box lately? Have you had a chance, friend? No. No? Would you like to open it up today? Go ahead. What'd you find in there? Can you see it? Nothing? Here, let me help. I'll tip it this way. Do you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, a magnifying glass. What do we use magnifying glasses for?
To look to tiny things.
Yeah, to look at tiny things or to look at things more closely, right? That's what we use magnifying glasses for.
I have this thing in my house.
You have one of those in your house? That one came from my house. Yeah. What do you think magnifying glasses might have to do with joy and finding joy? What do you think?
You use them to find stuff.
You do use them to find stuff, that's right. You want to add something?
You use it to find stuff, and you can use it to find joy.
We could use it to find joy. We can use it to find things, that's right. I actually brought a book with me today that might help us figure out how we might look more closely to find joy. This is called Wally and Freya, and if you're up here close to me, you can see the pictures here, or if you're sitting back there, you can see the pictures on the screen. I know, I know, right? All these fun things to do with our screens in the sanctuary. I know, it's really exciting. All right, here we go. Wally was a bully. That's what everybody said. They were sure that hurtful thoughts were all that filled his head. Wally stole lunch every day from Bella Joe the bear, and he always hogged the crayons and then refused to even share. Needless to say, when it was time for the kids to play, Wally's classmates all would holler, "Wally, go away!" During recess, kids brought pens and imaginations soared. They wrote of pirates, goblins, ghouls, dragons, knights, and lords. Freya, the red fox, wrote the most captivating tales of terrifying monsters with big teeth as sharp as nails. One day, Freya's book of tales simply disappeared. "It's lost and gone forever," or so the children feared.
What's the button?
Raphael the rabbit spoke up fast to save the day. "Wally took the book," he said. "Quick, he went that way." Chasing after Wally, they were shocked by what they found. Pages of her book were scattered all across the ground. Freya's words were hidden under Wally's scary doodles of terrifying monsters eating eyes and guts like noodles. They all let out a gasp. "What have you done?" the group exclaimed. Wally ran into the forest, looking quite ashamed. But Freya thought twice as she watched young Wally go and followed down the grassy path to where the oak trees grow. Wally was there, hanging his head and kicking the dirt. Freya saw in Wally's eyes that both of them felt hurt. "Your drawings are amazing," Freya genuinely said. This made Wally smile, and he slowly turned his head. "Why'd you take my book?" she asked, with kindness in her eyes. "I don't know," said Wally, letting out a big, long sigh. "I guess I just always wanted to be part of the fun, but you wouldn't understand. You're friends with everyone." "Nobody likes me," Wally said, while looking very sad. "Sometimes I get so sad, and then that sadness makes me mad." He told his new friend Freya about troubles in his home and told her how he felt so scared and completely alone. Freya sat and listened, and she let Wally talk on. And by the end of Wally's story, her anger was gone. "I have a fun idea," she said, with kindness in her smile. And together they gathered her book's pages in a pile. The next day, the kids gathered by the biggest old oak tree. What they found when they arrived was quite the sight to see. Wally's illustrations were all pinned up on the bark, scary drawings of mean monsters and terrible sharks. Freya told a story, and it made them come alive. The monsters were embarking on a dangerous deep-sea dive. When her epic story ended, everybody cheered. They saw Wally was an artist and not to be feared. From that day on, Wally was a member of the crew. The others wrote the stories, and as for Wally, he drew. You see, Freya did something quite special on that fateful day. Instead of striking back, she made sure Wally was okay. There is always much more to people than we can see. Beautiful things happen when we practice empathy. So this month, friends, we're exploring joy. And part of joy is empathy and compassion, right? It's looking more closely to the people around us and also having compassion for ourselves, right? So I hope that we are all able to see those around us, even those whose actions we don't agree with, right? And find the joy in compassion, in looking a little bit closer. Thanks for listening to this story with me today, friends. Parents and caregivers, if you have not signed your young person in, we're going to invite you to meet us in the parlor. And I invite everyone else to sing us out with Where You Go. Thank you, which you can find on the screen. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. And where you go, I will go. And your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine
Morning. In the spirit of reverence, love, and care, we take time now to bear witness to some of the joys and sorrows of our community. We want to share those events that call for our prayers, our support, our praise, and celebration. I'm going to check one more thing here. I have a thank you to share that someone wrote on one of the green slips. They didn't sign their name. I just want to say that I actually mentioned this gratitude the last time I was up here, but I don't think we can have too much gratitude in our community, so I'm going to go ahead and mention this one again. This is a big thank you to Dick Kurtz for the beautifully constructed custom desk that he made for the tech equipment back there where Arthur is sitting. Okay, it says, wait a minute. Okay, thank you to Dick Kurtz for beautifully constructing a custom desk for our tech equipment that does what it needs to do and fits in with the aesthetics of the surrounding sanctuary. A big thank you. From an anonymous. Yeah, Dick, I don't think you were here the last time when we said thank you. So nope, you were away on a trip doing volunteer work somewhere else. So we're glad to be able to say thank you again. It's beautiful. I have a sorrow from Nancy Miller. Ruth Schwartz, a longtime member of the church, died at Kendall on April 11th. She was 103 years old. Ruth and her husband, Arthur, moved to Ithaca in retirement. With her New York accent, she loved to regale people with her stories, especially of Frank Sinatra and other famous folks that she knew in New York City. I missed her. I never met Ruth, so I'm sorry. It sounds like she was just a lovely person. Her life sorrow was that both her daughter and granddaughter were accidentally killed many years apart as pedestrians by motor vehicles. I loved visiting her as part of the care team, says Nancy. I will miss her indomitable spirit. Cards can be sent to her daughter, Roberta Escarzega? Okay. Her address will be in the weekly announce, so look for that this week. For those we are holding in our thoughts, in our hearts, and perhaps in our prayers, into this community and space of healing and hope, let us now call these names out loud. Beth, or speak them silently in our hearts. We extend loving kindness to all in our world, and let us not forget to extend loving kindness to ourselves. Today, tomorrow, and beyond, may our hands be outstretched in kindness. Let us keep showing up to our lives and each other with an open heart, no matter what. Love and courage to us all. Blessed be.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm going to lead us all in a meditation this morning, right on the heels of that moment of loving kindness called a metta practice. Some of you might have done this before. The instructions are simple, and you can feel invited to, not required to, bring your hands onto your heart. And just connect to your heartbeat for a moment. Metta practice or loving kindness practice is something that I learned from one of my dearest teachers, Jack Cornfield. And this practice is with me always. We're going to begin by sending loving kindness to ourselves. And I invite you to repeat these words after me. And if you're not comfortable with that, you can recite them silently inside your mind. I wish for me to be happy. I wish for me to feel healthy. I wish for me to experience peace. I wish for me to know freedom. So continuing to just breathe into your heart and call in that energy of love and kindness for yourself. Again, repeat after me. I wish for me to be happy. I wish for me to feel healthy. I wish for me to experience peace. I wish for me to know freedom. I wish for me to be happy. I wish for me to feel healthy. I wish for me to experience peace. I wish for me to know freedom. And holding that energy of loving kindness in the center of your chest, imagine that with each exhale, you are sending that loving kindness out to all beings. And I encourage you to again repeat after me, but this time maybe look around the room, maybe look behind you, maybe catch the eyes of the person next to you as you repeat the words. I wish for you to be happy. I wish for you to feel healthy. I wish for you to experience peace. I wish for you to know freedom. And as these words stretch out in this room and beyond these walls, one more time, repeat after me. I wish for all beings to be happy. I wish for all beings to feel healthy. I wish for all beings to experience peace. I wish for all beings to know freedom. Thank you.
Each week, we take an offering to sustain the important ministries and programs of this congregation and its presence in Ithaca. Giving to the plate is important. It's a symbol of our gratitude for this service and our ongoing commitment to support the work of this church. For those watching remotely, follow the instructions on the screen. For those attending in person, our ushers will pass the plate. Please join me in saying the offertory words. May these gifts bring about connection, inspiration, and engagement between these walls and beyond.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jeannie O'Neill. I just feel so grateful and full of joy to have been invited to speak here this morning. I am nervous. My armpits are sweaty. So I'm just going to name that to tame that, right? It's not my first time giving a sermon, and it's actually not my first time giving a sermon up here on this stage. But the first time I did it, I was 14 years old, and it was a youth service, and I was part of the young religious Unitarian Universalist youth group here at that time, all of those years ago. And Emily and I got to do that together as young people. And I have so many memories in this church, so many memories in this building, in service, and also memories of goofing around, a lot of goofing around. So I'm going to start with a reading by Parker Palmer. Parker Palmer is another one of my very dear teachers who has gifted me so many things on this path. So I always like to give a shout out to the teachers because they do a lot and they stick with us. Of all the virtues, hope is one of the most needed in our time. When people ask me how I stay hopeful in an era of widespread darkness, I answer simply, hope keeps me alive and creatively engaged with the world. When privileged people like me choose hopelessness over hope, it's not a reflection of the state of the world. It's a reflection of the state of our souls. If I were to lose hope and turn to cynicism, what would I do? Sit in a corner, stare at a wall, suck my thumb? When people like me allow ourselves to become hopeless, while there's so much we can do for those who are truly suffering, we need to remind ourselves that opting out is not a way for a grown-up to live. Of all the virtues, hope is the most needed in our time. And that's by Parker J. Palmer. Hope is a part of appreciative joy, and that's the topic today in this month of celebrating joy here as a congregation. Hope can be hard to see when there is so much pain clouding our vision. And coming into the practice of joy, coming into the practice of any of what is called the radiant abodes, is a way of cultivating that pathway to hope. It's not that hope isn't here and isn't ever present. It's just sometimes hard to see the path to it when it is so cloudy. And I'm not sure about any of you, but if I spend enough time on social media or consuming any media, I find it incredibly difficult to connect to hope and to tap into joy. It feels like it's just beyond reach for me, like there's too many reasons to doubt. And I do know that joy is an act of resistance itself, and that struggle for connection with joy brings me into the awareness that I need to do some practices around it. And practices are something that is so important to me. I think that I can be in my head and we can think about all the differences we can make in the world. And sometimes it's hard to see the path of action. What do we actually do? What can we do? And one thing that we can do is the meditation that we started with just a few moments ago. We can send loving kindness out into the world when the world feels dark and hopeless. When I struggle with connecting to joy, I know that it is time for me to deepen into practices. and cultivate all of the divine, or what is called a radiant abode. So today, I want us to pause and to take refuge in the awareness, in the stillness of present moment practicing, allowing our hearts to soften as we turn towards these 4 radiant abodes. In Buddhist tradition, they're called the Brahma Viharas, the sublime states of being in heart and mind. They guide us to peace. They guide us to wisdom and deep connection. And we can find joy in those moments. We can find the joy in the sound of a baby in the back of the room. I taught high school for a lot of years, so nothing is going to ever distract me. These abodes that we're going to abide in today, together, are the ideal dwelling places of the heart. They're expansive. They're boundless. You can send that energy out, outside of your body, outside of this room, outside of this state, to exactly where it needs to land in this moment. What's important for me in my spiritual path is that these are not distant attainments. I'm not seeking to transcend anything here. It's not a means for that. They're seeds. They're seeds that we plant within us. They're seeds that are already being nourished by each breath that we take and each moment of joy and love that we connect with. We began with metta. We began with wishing all beings to be happy and healthy and peaceful and free. And it can even feel hard at times to do that if our own cup isn't full. So when we struggle to reach out and to connect with loving kindness, we turn that loving kindness practice in towards ourselves first, so that we can pour from a very full cup, so we can meet the other, not from a place of want or hunger, but from a place of my cup of love is so full that I can't help but share it with you. What is the use of all of this love that we cultivate and we grow inside ourselves if it is not to share it with one another when our cups are full? Metta practice, loving kindness practice, is not sentimental. It's not sentimental. It's quiet and steady and courageous. It's genuine goodwill towards another. It also doesn't require ourselves or others to be any different than we are. Can you meet another person's pain with your deep well of loving kindness, with a full chalice of hope and goodwill? It doesn't ask us to change. It doesn't ask us to fix ourselves or to walk into Barnes & Noble or Odyssey or Buffalo Street Books, head straight for the self-help section, because there's something clearly wrong. Metta reminds us that we are actually a masterpiece, that we're a masterpiece and a work in progress. Metta reminds us of the same energy that sparked Michelangelo carving the David. If you've heard this story, he truly believed that he wasn't creating anything. He was freeing what was already inside the piece of marble. And that's what this cultivation of loving kindness, of appreciative joy, of compassion does. It chips away at everything that isn't us to reveal what is true, our truest nature. So even when our own hearts and our own minds feel wounded, we can begin that whisper of goodwill. I wish for me to be happy. And from there, we extend it out to our friends, to our strangers, to someone even difficult in our world. Needless to say, I'm frequently sending loving kindness to various politicians that I am angry with. It's a hard practice. It is hard practice. Once we feel this cup full of loving kindness that pours out of us and we freely share it with others, we take one step further into the next piece of a radiant abode of the heart, and that is to dwell in compassion. And friends, compassion fatigue is very real. Again, if our cups are not full and we are showing up holding space for the other all the time, in service, in caregiving positions and jobs, if we're looped into the grind and it's hard to connect to the compassion within us, that's the signal to come back into our practice. I wish for me to be happy. I wish for me to feel healthy. I wish for me to experience peace. I wish for me to know freedom. Compassion is the trembling heart in the face of pain. It's not pity. It's not overwhelmed by anything. True compassion recognizes suffering without being swallowed by it. So if your compassion is waning and it's feeling like you are struggling to stay above the despair, the pain, the suffering of the world, you return to your practice, turning that loving kindness and compassion inward. Compassion says, I see your pain and I hold it with you. How can I be of service? How can I be of use to you in the world? And that compassion includes ourselves. Can we meet our own pain, our own mistakes, not with judgment, not with resistance, but with a deep tenderness that says, oh, love, I'm here. I'm here, and I see you. And you don't have to be any different than you are right now for me to hold you and see you and accept you. Only once we are cultivating and present with deep loving kindness and compassion for ourselves and the other can we truly tap into appreciative joy. Right? One of the keys to not spiritually bypassing things, someone's in pain and you're like, well, but it could be worse. The silver linings that we try to find in someone else's pain, as opposed to just saying, hey, let's hold this together in its perfection. Then we can tap in to our appreciative joy. Joy that arises from seeing the happiness, the success, the blessings, the celebrations of others. And this is the litmus, I think. The litmus is, if I can't celebrate your joys with you, if I struggle to connect to celebrating for you, I know exactly where my work is. I know exactly what I am here to practice doing, and that is to come back into a place of loving kindness and compassion for myself. Because it is not that I can't tap into appreciative joy. It's that it's not coming naturally because I'm feeling like my needs aren't being met. I'm feeling a deep hunger, an emotional longing, a yearning for something in my life to feel different and more full. But wow, once we tap into that appreciative joy for the happiness and success and celebration of the other, this is the antidote. It's the antidote to jealousy, the antidote to envy, the antidote to comparison, which is the thief of joy. It celebrates the goodness in others. So can we feel the joy when someone else is being praised? Can we feel it as if it is our own? It's a practice. Just like loving kindness, just like compassion, it's a practice, an invitation to participate fully in life's goodness as it unfolds in front of us. In a world that emphasizes scarcity, fear, greed, hoarding, appreciative joy reminds us that joy is not a limited resource. It grows and grows the more that we share it. Appreciative joy removes so many blockages in our lives. It allows us to really see how deeply connected we are to one another. It's so easy to say we're all one. As someone in the yoga community, this is something that is used often. We are one, we're one. I see you, you see me. We are one in this world. It is the next step to practice being one. I remembered this lesson so clearly one time. I was at a training, and a friend who was also in that training, her partner showed up during dinner time and brought her a dozen roses. It might have actually been 2 dozen roses. It was the biggest bouquet of roses I'd ever seen in my life. And it was gorgeous, and she was so happy. Her partner was like, "You've been working so hard at this training. I just wanted you to know that I see you and all the hard work that you do in the world." I was not in a good place at that time in my life. I was not deeply connected to self-compassion and loving kindness and joy. Things felt hard in my life. And I remember looking at her with her big bouquet of flowers and thinking, must be nice. Oh, did he bring you flowers? Yeah. Give it 10 years into your marriage and tell me how many flowers you get. I mean, this was the internal dialogue that was happening in my mean brain that was not centered in loving kindness or compassion. And I sat down for the next part of the training, and the roses, as if they were taunting me, were in a vase in the front of the room. And the speaker said, "Wasn't it beautiful for so-and-so to bring us all roses?" And I was like, oh, I'm a jerk. And the teacher said, this is our opportunity to recognize and to remember that this type of love is present in the world. And when we can witness it for somebody else, we know that it is also possible for ourselves. So that's my invitation for you. It's not to be perfect, right? This is not something to attain. It's just notice the seeds that are in yourself of appreciative joy, compassion, loving kindness, the seeds that can be cultivated, and notice when it feels hard to connect to those emotions. And that is not an opportunity for self-judgment or degradation. It's an opportunity for self-compassion and loving kindness. So I'm so full of joy to have gotten to spend this time here with you this morning. And I hope that this practice of loving kindness, this awareness that these seeds exist planted inside of you, gives you a tool, gives you an opportunity to know in those moments where you're like, I don't know what to do about the world. I don't know what to do about my friend who is suffering and 3,000 miles away. I can't bring her soup. That you can pause and you can connect to the deep well of loving kindness, compassion, and joy that is growing inside you and that grows bigger every time you water it. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Jeannie, for being here with us this morning. Friends, I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we sing out our meta prayer together this morning. You can find the words on the screen or in your teal hymnal, number 1031. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
So let's remember that appreciative joy is not another emotion, but a practice that we can cultivate daily. When we rejoice in the happiness of others, we're practicing a generosity of the heart, and it truly transforms the energy of your heart. And this can be measured for people who are into that kind of thing. There's ways to measure the M wave of your heart. There's a Heart Math Institute that teaches about this. And when you actively are sending out appreciative joy, loving kindness, compassion to others, it changes the frequency of your heartbeat and the ways that other people's heartbeats connect with your own. This frees ourselves. It's a great act of liberation from the weight of comparison and jealousy. And it opens us up to the interconnected, interdependent nature of all beings. So let's cultivate this together one more time. And maybe again, look around the room into the eyes of the people that surround you. This time wishing for appreciative joy for others. You can repeat after me. I wish for you to continue to be happy and well. May your joys increase and flourish. May your good fortunes and blessings grow. Thank you all. Blessed be.
we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our service has ended. Let our true service now begin. Thank you so much. Go in peace.